Chaps, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Were you doing some paperwork there?
I was looking. Actually, it's from Veterans Treatment Court, and I don't know. I don't know. It was in my way.
Right on. So, welcome back to another episode of the Scuttlebutt Podcast. We're here with Chief Sonny today. Before we get started, I want to thank all of our viewers, our Patreon members, our sponsors, Connor Insurance Group. We appreciate you guys. If you guys need insurance, and you're in Tennessee, well, he's actually in 10 different states. Give Connor Insurance Group a jingle and tell him that the TSP fellas sent you. So, hey, again, we have the best intro in all of podcasts.
Yeah, we do.
So today we are sitting here with Chief Sonny. How you doing there, Chief?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
Doing great. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Sonny Yeung. I've been in the Navy for almost 19 years. It'll be 19 in August.
Yut.
Say again?
I said yut.
He's doing his Marine shit.
Hoo-yah, man. Hoo-yah.
Yeah, I've been in for almost 19 years. It'll be 19 in August this year. Originally from Flushing, New York.
Nice.
In Queens. Married. Been married for 5 years and got 3 kids. Dean, who is 6, Goku, who is 4, and Diana, who is about to be 5 months.
Congrats, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a great family, Sonny. Chief. Sorry.
I appreciate it.
My bad.
Oh, you good, man. You good.
Dude, I've known this guy since 2005. He was my RP. He's RPC Yeung. When I knew him, you were what, like a petty officer third?
I was a schmuck. I was like a RPSN.
You were a schmuckatelli. All right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you explain to the people what an RP is?
Oh,
So
hey,
RP
Sonny.
is religious program specialist, right? So I'm a religious program specialist. Our job is, a couple of folds, 2 folds. One is I am a bodyguard for a chaplain, right? So
Yes, he is.
when we are in a combat environment during the height of war, everybody's deploying. My job is to protect the chaplain because chaplains are considered non-combatants, all right?
Yeah.
So they don't carry a weapon, right? So I carry at the time an M16 and an M9 to protect the chaplain, right? Anytime we go out on patrols, go visit Marines, right? So I'm there to protect the chaplain just in case something happens. Secondly, we support our First Amendment right of freedom of religion, right? So because we work closely with the chaplain and we work closely with, the different faiths, we support service members with whatever their religious background is. So it could be anything. We are there to support the service member with their faith group.
So, how does that work? The chaplain, is he non-denominational, or do you have Catholics? Do you have Protestants? Do you have Baptists?
Yes, so you have all kinds, right? So predominantly, right? So Christians, right? That will fall under the Christian, right, category. And then we have Muslim, we have Buddhist, and then we have Jewish.
Yes,
those are the 4 dominant faith groups that the chaplain corps has.
Excellent. So,
I had Chaplain Bradshaw. He was Baptist, right? Is Baptist?
Is he Baptist? I don't even.
I can't remember. And then I had a Greek Orthodox chaplain.
Chaplain Wozniak.
Dude, he was my chaplain in SOI. I remember that.
Oh,
guy.
Was he really?
Dude, we used to count how many times he said and he said it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he would do like 60, 70 times. He would be like, and we would write it down in our little Write in the Rain books. Sorry, Chaplain Wozniak, if you're watching.
Yeah, he was my first chaplain. We did 2 deployments together. He was a good guy.
Yeah, no, he is a good guy. He just says a lot.
You ever you ever swear in front of a chaplain?
Who, me or him?
You.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, not on purpose, probably by mistake and anger or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah,
dude, he swears in front of me all the time, so it's okay. It's cool, dude. I was a grunt. I was his grunt before I became a chaplain myself. So
yeah.
So does the Marine Corps use the Navy's chaplains?
Yes, because the Marine Corps doesn't have any Marine Corps chaplains or medical officers. So because when the Navy Marine Corps team, right? So that's what they call it, Navy Marine Corps team. So they use Navy chaplains and Navy medical docs and officers, corpsmen.
yeah, we've got. I love my corpsmen. I mean, you probably remember
Yeah.
all the corpsmen from 05, don't you?
06.
06, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
06, 05, yeah.
Yeah.
Doc Boodle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doc
Yep.
Boodle. We love you, Doc, wherever you are.
Yep.
Have you ever had any incidents where you're in a combat area and they were shooting at the chaplain just to be dicks? The bad guys?
So we were on, I forgot which number patrol it was.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But
we did a lot.
What I do remember is it was with India Company, right? And this is where we had our first casualty. Okay.
Oh yeah. Schmidt, right?
Bruce Schweitzer.
Oh, Schweitzer. Oh, yep.
Schweitzer, from what I can recall, was our first casualty. So we were out with that platoon, and then we were supposed to, I think, go to a school.
God, right? You were with second platoon because that's Bruce.
I don't remember what platoon it was. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was my platoon. Holy shit.
Was it really your platoon?
Dude, I was second in Ramadi and Fallujah, and then I was headquarters. Actually, I was in headquarters a couple times.
Okay.
Because I got kicked out of second, and then I got put back in because of Thornton, and yeah, it was a whole. You probably remember Lieutenant Thornton, don't you?
Lieutenant Thornton
from Texas, little short guy.
I might have by face if I see him, I'll probably remember him.
Yeah, no, but yeah, Bruce. Yeah, he was our first. He got hit like pretty bad, right?
Yep. Well, so we were about to go to school. This is from what I remember and what I recollect. We were on one side of the street. The school was on another side of the street, and it was Lance Corporal. It was Schweitzer. It was Naranjo. Do you remember him?
Oh, Naranjo, yeah, dude. I went to SOI with him too.
So it was Bruce, Schweitzer. It was Naranjo. It was Chaps, and then it was me on one side of the street.
Oh my God.
Bruce stayed on that side of the street. The three of us crossed the street, right? So then about a couple of minutes later, we hear a gunshot, right? And then rounds, 50 cal, just kept going off.
Yeah.
Then we went into this little shop. And then when we went to this little shop, we took cover. And, across the street was, more shops and rooftops and everything.
Yeah.
And Chap was like, hey, RP, make sure you cover the rooftop and everything. And I'm like, got it, Chaps.
I got it covered, Chaps. I got it covered, Chaps. I'm good.
Yeah, huh?
You just stay there.
Yeah. And then Naranjo was just looking at us like, man, this guy's really protecting this guy.
Dude, Naranjo's a mortar.
Yeah. And then kind of find out he got shot in the arm.
Who? Schweitzer did.
Schweitzer, yep. He got shot.
Yeah. He lives in Hawaii now.
Does he?
Yeah, I see his Facebook from time to time. I think he's a member of our. Well, you are a member of our VFW, and so is Bruce. and probably about 52 other 3-8 India guys are part of our VFW.
Yeah, because of you.
Because of me. Because of me. Matt Sinclair, Chaplain Bradshaw is a member of our post.
Yeah, but he got
And
shot.
that's
And then from what I remember, going back to Camp Ramadi to Charlie Med, he was in a 7-ton with Doc Boodle, and then he got out of the 7-ton. I think it was a 7-ton with Doc Boodle, and then he was bandaged up on his arm.
Yeah.
And then he was taken to Charlie Med.
Yeah, I went to Charlie Med that summer too.
Yeah. So that was our, I guess, first encounter of what combat or war.
Now when you were with us in 05, you were
Oh,
attached.
I wasn't with you guys in 05. That was
No, you were with Kilo or Lima or something.
No, I was with you guys in 06 in Ramadi, and then 22nd Mu. 05 Karma was Senior Chief Johnson.
Senior Chief Johnson.
Chris Johnson. I think he's still in.
Man,
but yeah,
that guy, dude, that guy was scary, man. That guy was like, dude, he looks like a weightlifter or something.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
I was scared out of my mind with that guy.
That's when Chaplain Bradshaw was with you guys too.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And we loved having you. And the Mew, I talk about the Mew all the time because I'm a shellback, and so is Fleek, and you are too, Chief, right?
Yep. Yeah,
we
all went through it.
Did you got shellback the same time I did?
Yep, because we're all on a Kearsarge.
God bless the Kearsarge. Ooh,
yeah.
The queer barge.
Yeah.
The queer barge. That's right.
Yeah, that's good times. Yeah, good memories.
Well, guess who is my guest speaker on Friday at my memorial service?
Who's that?
Colonel Matthew G. Sinclair.
Oh, nice.
He actually comes to the house at 2:00 on Friday, and he will be my guest speaker for our memorial service. We remember all the people that have passed away that prior year, and we also acknowledge all the people that have died in all the services as well.
Okay. Wow, good for you guys. Yeah.
And I got my new stole in the mail, so I'm very excited. I cannot wait to wear it.
Good. Nice.
And aren't you in divinity school, Chief?
No, I am getting my master's in Homeland Security.
Nice. Then why were you calling me about like the religious stuff? Weren't you like?
I forgot what it was. Somebody was asking me a question about religion.
Oh, okay, got it.
And I knew
because I assumed you were taking classes, so you wanted to be a chaplain yourself.
Oh yeah, no, that's probably not gonna happen. Sorry, but
you've done too much bad stuff in your life.
Yeah. But yeah, I got my. I'm going for my master's in Homeland Security. I have my bachelor's already in Homeland Security. So hopefully by this time next year, I have my master's in Homeland Security.
Wow, what are you gonna do with that?
Maybe stick with government work or go private sector. I was thinking about joining one of the 3-letter agencies, but
nice. I know I'm still waiting to hear back from them, and that was 2008 on the Kearsarge that I applied to all the. Oh yeah, CIA, FBI, Triple Canopy, Secret Service. I applied to all of them in the company office, the India company office up in the Kearsarge. I still haven't heard back from them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long process, that's for sure.
I guess I didn't get the job. Oh well.
Yeah.
It's okay. I like
jobs.
Huh?
You have too many jobs now.
Dude, you're telling me. And being a chaplain is no joke. It's hard work, man.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm just a VFW chaplain. Like, I'm not even talking about the chaplains like an active duty. Those guys have a tremendous job to do, and they do it very well.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy being a chaplain. Definitely not easy. the stories that you hear from service members, from the Marines, you know, and we have 100% confidentiality,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So anything that somebody says to a chaplain needs to stay confidential unless the individual gives them permission
Right.
to release that confidentiality. So I mean, you just hear all sorts of stories. Some are just out of this world. Some are very heartbreaking, and the chaplains need to do what they have to do to help the service member, right, to get through their problems and the issues the best
Yeah.
they can.
Did you go to like is there a school like RPs go to a school to be
Yeah,
RPs?
so they do go to RPA school, right? They go to RPA school, and then they go to the Marine training in Camp Johnson. Okay.
Oh, good old Camp Johnson.
Yeah, so they go through Camp Johnson. Okay. They call it FMTB, Field Medical Training Battalion, or they used to call it MCAS. And then
Oh
once they
God, yeah.
graduate that, they go on to the fleet either with their Marines, whatever unit, or they go on to the ship or whatever the Navy needs them to be.
What boot camp did you go to?
Great Lakes, Illinois,
Great mistakes.
Yeah. What year was that?
2004, August 19, 2004.
June. Yeah, that's when I went to boot camp in June of 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was at Great Lakes 20 years prior to that.
I know because
wow.
we are
God bless
boot
you.
camp. We're boot campers compared to you, Flake.
Yeah.
You stepped,
Yeah. So
you
the
stepped
Navy
saying,
only
what's that?
say what? The
I was
Navy
gonna say-
only has one boot camp now, right? Back in the day,
Yeah.
they had three.
Used to
One
be
in San
Orlando.
Diego,
That
right?
3, yeah.
Yep. And then Orlando was another one, and then Great
San
Lakes, and
Diego.
they shut those two bases down, and now it's
Yeah.
only Great Lakes.
Do they still make the boots sing "Anchors Away" when they go through the tunnel?
Yes, they do.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah. Yeah.
Who was that? Was that your dog or my dog?
My dogs.
Okay.
My dog's barking. So.
Anchors. Hey, do you have a little anchors away for you two Navy gentlemen?
Oh my goodness, he does.
Of course.
God bless the Navy. That's why I love the Navy is awesome. You guys are awesome. My dad was Navy. I mean, you're Navy, Fleek. You're still in. You're getting out at 20, or are you going to stay in longer?
Yes.
Sonny.
22. So my contract takes me up to 22 years right now. It all depends on, what's going to happen in the future. If I get promoted, if I don't get promoted, if I do get promoted, if I'm going to stay in. So
Are you
it
in
all
the zone?
depends.
Are you in the zone
What?
for senior chief?
Yes.
You are
Yeah.
in the zone? Oh shit, man.
Yes.
You're going to get that. No problem.
Nah, I'm not holding my breath, but it's fine. It's okay. As long as I'm doing what I'm doing, I enjoy what I do, helping out people the best I can, right, with their issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, being here in Mayport is I'm glad I got these orders. Being in the Navy for almost 19 years, I've never really been on the Navy side of the house, if you will. Right. When I was listening to the podcast from the Master Chief, he's been with the Marine side the entire time, right? Not really
Right.
with the Navy. So for me, it was like my entire sea time is with the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
My short time is, Naval Submarine School, Grand Connecticut, working and helping out the sub schoolers, and then RTC Great Lakes at the chapel there. So I go to work every day looking at ships, and not just any ships. It's DDGs, right? The destroyers.
Nice.
It's like the first line. It's like, hey, these are the ships, the warships that go out to sea.
That's cool.
And it's just amazing to see, these sailors. This is what the Navy is about. So, a couple of months ago was my first time being on on a DDG just visiting, and I'm just amazed and shocked about what these young sailors, 20 to 25-year-old sailors, what their job is, right? Because I don't know what they do. I've never been on a destroyer before. So for them to explain to me what their job is, what what it entitles, right? What it entails, it is just incredible what these people know at such a young age. It's insane. It's crazy, right?
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, ship life is it's not for everybody.
No, definitely, definitely not. Yeah.
I liked
mean,
ship life. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
that's because we didn't do anything.
We didn't do
General
shit.
quarters. We go to our racks.
That's
Right.
right. And did you know,
Don't say it.
Chief Young? I will say it.
Don't say it.
Chief, did you know that I used to throw chem lights on the side of the ship?
Oh, you probably did. I don't doubt it.
Every time the Marines were tired,
Yeah.
they'd be like, Andrew, go throw some chem lights. I'm like, okay. And you know what that means? General quarters, general quarters.
That means we had to go to work.
That's right.
Yeah.
And us Marines and people attached to us that were Navy, we got to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't get captain's mast for that. I should have.
Yeah. Well, if I ever talk to your superiors, I'm going to.
Dude, if you talk to that MEU commander, hey, Sonny, do you remember the MEU commander?
No, I don't.
Dude, that guy had a haircut like Guile from Street Fighter. I mean, he was a scary, scary son of a bitch.
Really? You remember him?
I do. I remember seeing him. Him and Sinclair were talking all the time. And I'm like, that guy looks like the guy from Street Fighter. I don't want to go in front of him. I mean, I already got NJP'd one time. I didn't need another NJP under my belt.
Well, what's another one gonna do?
Yeah.
Dude, I was supposed to be sergeant when I got out, and I couldn't even make it because I got that NJP in Iraq in 2005.
It's all right. You're still here with us.
For getting drunk in Iraq at Camp Fallujah.
That's frowned upon.
Yeah.
Frowned upon.
Nice.
General Order 1 Alpha. That's what that was my punishment. And Neary, I had to stand before him.
What happened to your piano?
Oh, I took it off. I'm sorry. I think the
the
backgrounds are causing my shit to be slow.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Because there was a lag there in the beginning.
Yeah, and now I took it off, and now doing these episodes, now I have to actually paint this room.
Yeah,
because I look like Chief Young's room right now.
Yeah, this is my background wall.
Yeah, I know. I need like a good 3/8 wood carved flag up here and a shadow box or something.
Oh, I have one. You want to see it?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Break that bad boy out.
Yeah, I got well, it's up on my wall. My wife gave it
Wait,
to
aren't
me.
you supposed to get a shadow box like after you get out?
Well, it's not a shadow box. Here, let me show you
It's a work in progress.
Let me show you my wall. Or my military wall here.
Oh God, this is gonna make me puke. This is gonna make me sick.
No,
it's
it's not.
so much better than mine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a Chief's wall looks like. Stand
All
by.
right, so we'll start.
Stand
all
by,
right, I
stand
guess we'll
by.
start on this
Stand by,
side,
stand by.
right? This
Oh.
is
Damn.
the
Look at that young
17-year-old. All right, the 17-year-old who had like no idea. Hey, I'm going to join the military because I didn't want to go to college and I wanted to travel the world. Where did I travel to? I traveled to Iraq and I'm in college.
See, I remember that kid.
All right, this is the boot camp photo.
What class does that say?
385.
What class were you?
Like
Division
042.
385.
Fleek, man, don't even. That was way before anybody's time. Ooh, what's this?
This is our, at the time, McKess, right? Field Medical Service School, where RPs and corpsmen, they go to training together to
Okay.
go with the Marines.
At Camp Johnson.
Camp Johnson, I'm right there. You guys probably can't see it.
No. Yeah.
Where's Camp Johnson at?
It's right next to Camp Lejeune. It's right in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. I knew it sounded
This
familiar.
is
It's,
my,
Oh, ooh, what's this?
This is my memorial wall. I have another one.
Is that all the guys that we lost?
Yeah. So
Oh, shit.
it says my name is Lucas Adam Yeung. That's my dog.
Oh.
That's what I named Lucas after. My dad named me after his friend, Lance Corporal Kevin A. Lucas. They served together in Ramadi, Iraq in 2006. Let's remember
Went to SOI with Lucas.
those who made the ultimate sacrifice so we can live free. And these are all our guys who we lost.
Yeah, we lost 26 those 2 years.
That's awesome. You have that on your wall.
Yeah, 17 right here.
Yeah, that's
17.
what it's all.
Okay, that was from Ramadi.
That's what it's all about, right there, ladies and gentlemen.
5,000 fallen. I got this from one of the newspaper articles, Navy Times. So these are all the names of the fallen. You can't see it, but the highlighted, I try to highlight it and put highlighter. Those are the guys.
Yeah, I can. It's sort of blurry, but yeah.
Yeah. And then this is what my wife gave me, I think, for my birthday.
3-8.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
They're no more, though. You got to take that down. They don't exist anymore.
Oh, no. They'll come back when we start war again.
And then here's my last one. So one thing I regret is not saving all these memorial bulletins, right? You know, as chaplains, as RPs, you know, we do all the memorial services, right? And we do these bulletins. So I have some bulletins, but I don't have all the bulletins. I wish I would have kept it.
Hey, is that on the second row? Is that Schmidt? Who is that?
No, this one or this?
Yeah, this the guy in the blues.
No, that's Glenn.
Oh, that's Glenn. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Damn.
And then here and some of our guys. Yeah.
Wow. And you do you post the same time I post when their anniversary of their death.
Yeah, I try to whenever on Facebook. I mean, I don't really go on Facebook a lot, but you know, when their anniversary comes, especially for our guys, I try to repost, you know, just for, you know, memorial remembrance. And one of the things that I've started doing is every I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but every Memorial Weekend, I go to Arlington National Cemetery with my family to visit our guys.
I do remember you. I haven't been since God 2014. I think was the last time I went to Arlington. I need to go back.
Yeah, I think I started in either 2008, 2009. I don't remember which year. One of the years I went to visit Ramon because he's from New York and I was from New York. So I went to the cemetery there in New York. I think it was in Long Island. And then because we live in the same neighborhood, he was from Flushing, Queens. He went to John Bowden High School. There was a street named after him. Which
there is?
You know, yeah, there's a street name after him because he was local. Yeah, I forgot which block it was on.
Wow, I didn't know he had a street named after him.
Yeah, he did. So, and then the following year, I went to Arlington. And I think that was 2009. And then ever since 2009, I went to Arlington National Cemetery. There was only 2 years I did not go, and that was 2013 because I was deployed. I was in Afghanistan, and then 2020 because of COVID.
Okay.
So.
You went to Afghanistan?
Yeah, 2013.
Wow. Were you with 3-8?
I was with 2nd Marine Headquarters Group Forward.
Okay.
Yep.
So have you always? So I think you already answered this, but have you always been with the Marines, or do you bounce back and forth, Navy, Marine?
Yes, you can say Navy, Marine, but Sea Tour wise, I've been with the Marines. Right, shore tour. I guess you can say Navy.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, when you were in Afghanistan and Iraq, what did you do to deal with the stress of being in a combat zone?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you, sir.
So when I was in Afghanistan in 2013, it was a different time. 2013 Afghanistan, you can say that it was drawing down, right?
Yeah,
When I went there, some of the bases were getting demolished. We're getting ready to, and the mission for me and the unit I was in was vastly different, right? In 2006, well, how do I deal with the stress in 2006? That's a good question. I could thank God for saving my life. I could tell you that much,
Me
yeah,
too.
right? Because if you ask a 19-year-old, hey, how did you deal with this, or anybody, regardless of age, I guess when you are younger individual, it might be harder to process, or maybe easier to process because our brains are not developed yet
Yeah.
until we're 25, 26 years old. So, when I came back, or even during that time, it was like numbness, or, what did I sign up for? Or why were we here? Regardless of what the reason is, we still had to deal with what we had to deal with, right? Well, I had to protect my chaplain. I had to protect my brother in arms, regardless who it is. But to deal with the stress, everybody deals with stress differently. I dealt with it by finding a church home, which I did. I mean, it didn't solve for all my problems. It brought healing and comfort. But we are all still scarred, right?
yeah,
We are never healed. We can only mitigate what we can to try to move on and live life, right? So I'm very thankful. When I got to Grind, Connecticut, I was very thankful for my chaplain at the time, Captain retired now, Jane Vieira. She was my chaplain. She was awesome. And then, especially my church family, right? Lighthouse Community Baptist Church, right? In Connecticut. I was able to connect to those resources out in town to try to, help and cope and stuff like that. And then, yeah, it kind of helped, but sometimes you have to deal with these stresses yourself, in my
Yep.
opinion,
Yes,
right?
you do.
You can't, you can have all these resources out there, but
right,
if these resources are not there, how are you going to be able to move on with life? Are you
right.
going to be able to move on with life? If the
Yes,
answer is no, then you need to reevaluate, in my opinion, how you think, how you view life,
Yep.
because life is hard. Life is hard enough for all of us, right?
It is.
Uh, Regardless if you're a war veteran, you're a veteran, or you're just a regular civilian out in the civilian world. Life is hard, right? You got
yeah,
kids, work,
yep,
family. If you don't have these resources, can you still move on with life? And the answer is, in my opinion, you can. You just got to learn how to mentally, right, prepare your mind for these stresses.
yes,
Yep.
exactly. That's why I think it's a big deal for these young kids that are getting out of the military to join the VFW or the American Legion. I feel like
DAV.
the
Yeah.
AV, whatever group you feel comfortable with, get in there and get back in your tribe. It helps immensely. But with that, I want to segue into this question. What do you think is the most important thing that civilians should know about veterans and their experiences?
Oh man, that's a tough one because this there is such a disconnect between civilians and the military,
Yep.
Yeah,
right? There's no draft, right? We are, after the Vietnam War, the draft was over, so we are all voluntary service, and after Vietnam, it was Desert Storm, right? And Desert Storm lasted only a certain period of time, and then 9/11 happened,
yep,
and then the war in
98
Afghanistan.
hours.
Yeah.
yeah,
Gunny Lambert. If you remember him, Gunny Lambert was in Desert Storm.
Oh, good gosh.
Dude,
He's old.
dude, he brought his own personal weapon onto ship, like in his sea bag. His own weapon onto a ship. That's how crazy he was.
How do you get past that?
Dude, I don't know. It's Gunny Lambert, man. This guy, I mean, and
Was he
Sonny
born?
Quebec.
Was he born a gunny?
No, well, no. But he's a gunny. He's married to a gunny.
Oh,
And dude, he was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this right now. He was the biggest, blackest, scariest motherfucker I've ever seen in my entire life.
He was pretty good.
This guy, he had like 72 children, and these children
damn.
were his guns, not like real people. They were his
I was
guns.
saying, what the-
Dude, he gave a limo speech. I don't know if Sonny was there, but I hope he remembers. But remember, he took us all over, and he was like, "Okay, guy. Oh, okay, there, you who's. This is my phone number. If you have any problems, I've got a shotgun, a shovel, and a bag of lye. If you have any problems, you give me a call." Dude, we were like dying laughing at this limo speech. It was hilarious, man.
Libo speeches.
Libo, hey, and libo it's a word in the dictionary. Libo does exist.
Yeah. So I'll speak from my experiences real quick.
No, go ahead.
When I got out of the Navy, I had, you transfer from the military to civilian life, and people just they don't understand you. My wife lost so many friends because I would just run my mouth, and my wife would yell at me, "Richard, not everybody's in the freaking military, man. You can't talk to regular people like that."
Yeah, Katrina said that to me a couple times.
So
a lot of times when that happened, I mean, that happens in the military also, but in a different context, right? What I try to tell sailors nowadays when they're stressed, when they're stressed out, how to deal with the stress. I tell them, we can't control a lot of things. We cannot control duty section. We cannot control muster, when the ship is going out to sea, and all that stuff. So on the civilian side, we can't control certain things. What we can control is our minds. What we can control is our mindset.
Exactly.
So a lot of people view life in one dimensional. And that one dimensional is at that point in time, right? Oh, my chief is yelling at me. Oh, we got to get up at 6 a.m. to muster, or whatever the case may be. Oh, I'm stuck in traffic, right? So literally, right? So when that happens, they are one dimensional, very tunnel vision, right? To where that is all they see about life during that time. So if we change the way we think about life, about that situation, we may be able to move on or deal with the stress that's happening at the moment because we think about life differently. This is not the answer for everybody, but this is a answer for somebody if it works for them. It might not work for them.
Dude, Sonny, you just hit the nail on the head. I did the same thing. I just did that today. I was stuck in traffic. I mean, if you know Tennessee traffic, it's ridiculous. It's terrible. I left my lifeguarding job or part-time gig, whatever, and I was stuck in traffic. I had to help my wife out, load some stuff in the car, and then I had to hit the traffic to get to this interview. And you know what? I was kind of stressed for a second. I was like, yeah, it's all right. It's fine. And guess what? I made it with 20 minutes to go. So I was in another mind, I was thinking three-dimensionally. I was like, you know what? This ain't so bad. I'm controlling my response because that's, like you said, you can only control what's going on inside of you. And your response is one of them, especially like when you're in an argument with somebody.
Yeah.
You can control that response of you can put them down or you can not put them down. I mean, that's your, it's the outcome is going to be dependent upon you.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to your question, Richard. I mean,
yes, sir.
It's
Chief.
disconnect. You're fine. Oh, you're fine. The disconnect is there, right, between civilian and military. Probably less than 1/2% serves in the military in 2023, right? How do you bridge that gap? It is very difficult in today's time. Very difficult. You see everything on social media, the good and the bad, right? So if you see good, you're like, oh man, the military is the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna join the military. I'm gonna make a career. That's cool. And then you see the bad. Oh, the military is the worst thing I've ever
Ever
done,
did.
decision
Just
I made
kidding.
in my life, right? And then it's game over, right? And there's proof to that, to what the people
Yeah.
see on social media, the
Yeah.
news, right? And there's such a disconnect that it's the problem is very, very difficult, in my opinion, to solve. I think one solution is for like people like you guys with these organizations, try to have these podcasts, try to get civilians to. We don't need to get them to understand, just get them to listen, to get a
Right.
different point of view, to get a different perspective of what
Yep.
life is about in the military. I mean, that's the
Well
best.
said.
Yeah, that's the best I think we can do.
Well
I'm
said,
not
Chief.
gonna get I'm not gonna get my civilian friends to fully understand 100%. They're never gonna understand.
Yeah. So
But
a minute ago I called Chief Sir, but I immediately corrected myself, and he said no, it's okay. I just want to relay to our civilian friends, when anytime a enlisted person calls a chief sir, he'll get his ass chewed out. So I immediately corrected myself. That's
Yep.
why I did that.
It's like if you
they
call a sergeant major sir, you're like, you're gonna get a backhand in the face.
Yes.
I didn't even hear it. You call me sir? I didn't
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah,
did.
I said sir, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
Chief."
I didn't even notice.
Hey, but Sonny, I think you would. I mean, you would have made a good officer if you went that route. I think you would have made a good
Yeah.
officer.
I appreciate it. But there are times where I think about where life could have been for me. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, think about that too. Man, for me, what would have happened if I didn't get these orders, right? To Mayport, Florida. What happened if I didn't get orders to Great Lakes, right? Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have met my wife, right? What would have happened if I chose not to go back with the Marines and then go to Afghanistan? What would have happened if I didn't go to Grand Connecticut? I wouldn't have met my pastor in the church. What would have happened if I didn't go to Iraq? What would have happened if I did not join the military? All these things, right? It is not bad to think about, right? It's not, right? It's curiosity, right? Human beings are all curious.
Yep.
What is bad is for us to dwell on certain things and
Yep.
have regrets.
Bam, man! You just hit all of the markers today, man.
Like,
you are good.
Yes.
What is bad is we dwell on the past, we regret about the past, and we cannot move on to live in the future. And a lot of people just don't know how to comprehend how to think like that. And for me, luckily, I have God in my life, I have a family, and I do think like that. And I'm grateful that I have this kind of mentality to where I can work through some of these things. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I go through stress. So, stresses. I got 3 little kids who drive my wife nuts and then drive me nuts, right?
Yeah.
We're all human beings.
Hey, they drove me nuts when I stayed at your house. Okay.
Yeah. So,
but they're cute as hell. They're cute as hell. They just.
You can borrow them anytime you want, bro.
Well, hey, I am CPR and AED trained for little kids. So if you guys need a break, I will come down there and I will babysit for like 2 weeks. I don't even care.
All right, deal.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Deal.
Hey, listen, 2 weeks in Florida with his children.
That's true.
My wife would love you.
Dude, you guys need a vacation anyway. And Sonny, we did something last weekend, and we're going to talk more about this whole vacation thing for you and your wife. So don't worry. I can't say it on the air because there's some people that I don't want to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk on the phone next week.
Sure. Yeah.
So you say you've only been married for 5 years. Have you been deployed since you've been married?
Fortunately, I have not been deployed. Fortunately, unfortunately, I have not been deployed. Right? Because I cannot say that I have the experience of what it's like to be away from family for such a long time. So I can't really speak to that from personal
Yeah,
experience, right?
right,
What I can do is speak to other people's experience and what people have come to our office and expressed for those who's, been married, right? For instance, back in 2006, we lost Staff Sergeant McIntosh,
Yep.
right?
I
Right.
was
He
just
was
about to talk. I was just about to ask you about Staff Sergeant Mac.
yeah.
Wow,
So
you read my mind.
Staff Sergeant McIntosh, he was married, he got kids, he was the oldest Marine and most senior Marine who was killed in our battalion. I think he was 29 years old,
Yep.
right?
damn, just a
So
kid.
yeah, so well, to us, no. When you're 25, you're like ancient or
Yeah,
30, right?
that's
And
true.
I was 26 when I joined.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah.
I was an ancient old man.
Yeah, he's ancient. But
Uh, what did they
you know,
call you in boot camp?
The oldest, dumbest, smart kid that they had ever seen in their entire life.
Uh,
but
that's funny.
yeah, I mean, I can't speak on my personal experience, but I can speak on what it's like, for other people, what they deal with, what it's like to be away from family, from their perspective, right? To have your kids being away, for weeks or months, years at a time, and God forbid they're no longer with us.
Right.
you know I can't speak from my experience, but I could speak on that and their experience on what it's like. So I've been unfortunate and fortunate enough to experience and not experience that.
Yeah. When I was in the Navy, I was on an aircraft carrier. I made it a point to not be in a serious relationship only because I knew that I'd be gone most of the time, and it's not fair for you or for significant other.
Yeah, I mean, it can work both ways,
Yeah.
right? One point of view that is going to be stressful for both parties. The
Yep.
other point of view is whether or not, hey, the love and the work in a relationship, if it works
Yep.
out, it
Yep.
might work.
Yeah. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying I knew it wasn't for me.
Sure. Yeah.
I just know me. Plus,
Yeah.
I knew I was going to the Philippines, and that wouldn't have been fair.
Yeah. It's definitely, military is definitely not for everybody. Dual military, being married to another service member is definitely not for everybody, you know,
Right.
but it's
Yes.
life. It's part of the life that we chose.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good life, but it's a hard life.
it is a hard life.
The funny thing I find about being a veteran, being prior military, then when I was in the military, man, it's like kind of sucks, man. Just want to go home, and then when you get home, you're like, fuck, this sucks too, man. I just want to go back.
It's like it's a catch-22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's different perspective in life. I mean, there are people who join at a later age and say, hey, civilian life is better than the military. And,
Mhm.
on the retrospect, on the other side of the coin, there are people who join a military at a later age and say, man, I should have done this when I was 17 years old or 18 years old. I could have retired in like 5 years or
Yep.
whatever the case. Yeah, because it is hard in both sides of the coin,
Yep.
right? Well, when I retire at, let's say, 22 years in the service, I'll be 40 years old, right? I have my pension, my chief's pension at 22
Yeah.
years. I have my VA disability is probably going to be at 100%, right? And then I'm still considered young enough in the civilian side at 40 to find another job,
Yep.
right? But all that took the sacrifices that was made by
Right.
what I did, and those who stayed to 20 years, 22 years, 30 years, or whatever the case may be, right? So it's a good gig, but a lot of people don't realize, hey, to get
Yes.
to where we are now it took all of these X, Y's, and
Yeah.
Z's, and a lot of people just don't see that. All they see is the finish line.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point.
That is a good point. Sonny, Chief, you're like on point tonight, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think I do this like every day. You know,
You do. You do. We're having a consult with an RP right now. So yes, that's good. Good
yeah,
job. Good training,
I
baby.
appreciate it.
Good job.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoy these kind of discussions because it's just a different point of view, right? Especially trying to mentor Marines and sailors, right? Because when I don't know about you guys, but when I see a sailor who is 19 years old, I see me. You know what I'm saying? I see this young
Mhm.
sailor, regardless of their gender, their background, their faith. I see this person because, especially if they're young, like 18, 19 years old, right? Because I was that 17, 18, 19-year-old sailor who did not know what we got into, who just made a decision and just went with it. But now there's so much information out there that it's like you know what everything is before you even join, for the most
Yep.
part, anyway. When I
See,
joined,
I
I didn't.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't
At
know. There was no
26,
social
we
media.
didn't. There was no Facebook. There
Right.
was no. I mean, the internet was crap. Um,
Yep.
I mean, I got a 54 on my ASVAB, and they're like, "Oh, you're good enough to be a grunt." I'm like, "All right, good. That sounds good to me. Let's go be a machine gunner." All right, sweet, awesome.
Yeah, during that time, and especially during your time, there was these information that's out there now that's available was not available to us. The war was just starting in 2003, right? In March,
Yeah,
in the invasion of Iraq. I joined in 2004. That was a year later. Nobody knew, right, exactly how this was going to play out for the most part, in my opinion, right?
yeah,
So for somebody joining the military at that time, it's like, hey, I'm going to join for patriotism or for one reason or another. But for me, it wasn't because of that. Not to say I'm not patriot now, because I didn't know at the time, right? I wasn't educated. I knew what was happening, but I didn't really know. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yep,
Uh,
Yeah.
growing up in New York City, in Queens, you are not sheltered, but we are in our little bubble because it's a city life, right? Regardless of where we grew up, right? So when it comes to talking about politics, inner city kid don't really know. Yeah, we knew that the towers fell and everything.
Yeah.
I saw the towers one day, did not see the towers the next day,
Yeah.
right?
I was going to ask you, where were you at when they fell?
yeah.
I was in school. I was in high school. I was a sophomore in high school, Bayside High School, right? And
You went to
then
Bayside High,
Bayside High
R-
School.
really?
Yeah, it was called. It was called. It's not the Bayside that we know
With
from the
Zach
TV
Morris,
show.
No, I was going to say,
Yeah,
isn't that where Zach went?
Zach Morris,
yeah, maybe in California, but not in Queens, New York. That's for sure.
and
I tell you that much.
Slater, and Slater.
But yeah, we were in high school, sophomore, right? Inner city kids, and we found out what happened, and a lot of students did not. We were not able to comprehend what happened,
Yeah.
right? So it was just one of those things. How does a 15-year-old deal with it?
How did the teachers handle it? Did they cut students loose?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly what happened during that day, like for the school, but I did remember, there was a student crying, right? I think because one of her family members or whatever was there, but it
Oh,
was we might have been cut off early because I remember going back home, taking a school bus, not school bus, taking a bus, the MTA, going home, and the towers were not there anymore.
wow.
So yeah, so yeah. I mean, a lot of people
I,
join. A lot of people join because of that. I would like to say that that's the reason why I joined the military, but it was not. It's
I
not to say
tried.
that. Yeah, it's not to say that I'm not a patriot or whatever, because at the time I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was going on, and a lot of people, even today, don't really understand at 17 years old or 16 years old, whatever, however age. I don't think they really comprehend what it means to join the military. It's not to say it's not a bad thing, right? Uh, but it may
But they
also
need
be
to think. They need to think
right,
three-dimensionally and not one-dimensionally.
right, right.
But I mean, it takes time. I mean, change is hard for everybody. And
Yes.
so changing your mindset is hard. It took me a long time to change my mindset. Because I was for I had a pity party for a long time. Like you owe me this because I did this. That right
Mm,
there is the wrong kind of thinking. And when I finally realized it, my life opened up, and I'm happy for the first time in a long time. And I wasn't happy for a long time. I mean, shit. Last time, I mean, when you saw me, remember when we had that 3-8 reunion? It was you, me, and Mal Gady.
mm-hmm.
Dude, I was drunk as shit. I was
Yep, I
drunk the
know.
entire time. Yeah, you
Yep, I
remember,
know. Yep,
dude? I almost got into a fight with Kanapka.
yep. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Oh, did I? Did
I
I
think
did
you
I
did.
fight him?
I don't think
Uh,
you physically fought him, but
we
yeah,
had
there
an
was some
argument. I
altercation.
know we had a huge argument, and I know I owe him an apology. I need to make amends to that guy. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. You're a chaplain now. You
Now I'm a
should.
chaplain. Now I gotta make my amends. I mean, I thought I was done, but you always gotta make amends every single day
Yeah.
to God, to yourself, to anyone that you've harmed. I mean, in AA, that's step 10. So you do a moral inventory pretty much every day. Do I owe him an apology? Oh, I shouldn't have probably said that to him. I probably owe him an apology or her an apology or whatever.
Yeah.
I have so we're at 1 hour right now. I'm going to ask you one final question.
Sure.
What advice would you give to someone considering joining the military today based on what you experienced?
um, in life there's always ups and downs, right? And we all experience ups and downs. I have my ups and I have my downs. In the military, you're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs. Uh, are there times where it's gonna suck? Yes. Right. Are there times where it might be the best thing that happened to you in your life? Yes. Okay. It will teach you to grow up really fast. Right.
Yep.
So my advice is it is not just a job, it's a lifestyle. I'm not here to, preach to the choir. I'm here to say that, this is the decision that you made. Own up to it, right? If you regret it, well, you could get out in 4 years, right? It's not like you can quit a job. This is not one of those type of deals because this is the military. Don't forget
Yeah.
what the military is about, right? I can preach about all the benefits and stuff, but sometimes in many societies, for the last 5 years or whatever, um, we don't think about what the military is about. The military is a war fighting organization. All right. War fighting. We are trained to go to war, right?
Hoorah.
Regardless of what your job is, right? You
Yep.
could be, whatever yeoman, CS, FT, FC, whatever job it is, we are still a war fighting organization to where if you go out to sea, right, and your ship gets hit, by
Yeah.
something, it is game on, right? So have that in the back of your mind to remember
Right.
that you are in the military and you're a warfighting organization.
Yeah, that's a
Eh,
great point because when the USS Cole got hit, I believe a
Yep.
couple yeomans died in that explosion.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, they're in Yemen doing refueling, right? And then a
Yeah.
ship pulled up. Yeah, a
Yep.
small boat pulled up, and then was a suicide IED, right? And then
Yep.
exploded.
Yep.
Right?
Blew a
That
hole in
can
the side of her.
happen. Yeah, that can happen any time, any day, right? Unfortunately, we have ships, colliding out to sea. USS Fitzgerald and
Yeah.
McCain, right? Collision. We have the Bonhar Rashad, fire. These are unfortunate events. But we are the military, right? And we need to be prepared to go out to sea, go to war when the time comes, right? It's not a matter of if we go to war, it's a matter of when, and you have to be prepared to go to war.
Yep.
So,
All right. Well, I said that was going to be my last question, but I got one more.
Okay.
Being a
sure,
chief,
yeah.
being a chief, you got your khakis on. Have you ever had to look at one of your young sailors and say, meet me in the forecastle or the closet ASAP?
Mm,
You don't want to say? We can skip that. You're still
Oh
active
yeah,
duty.
you don't have to answer that question. I mean, then you'll be admitting that you actually had an
I
extra
forgot. You're
period
active
of
duty. Never
instruction
mind. Don't answer that.
for your sailors. So don't answer that question.
so there's a different type of leadership to be displayed.
Good. Very nice. Good answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Sonny, dude, you've been a blast, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this on short notice.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks
We
for
love
having me.
talking to you. I will see you in March at Paris Island.
Yeah.
Wear your uniform because I want to see all your little shiny medals and stuff. Like you have,
Those are expensive.
you have a
I'm gonna
lot
have to
more
get
than I
new
do.
ones.
We want to thank you for your service and all your sacrifices that you have given to this great country. We really
you, Chief.
appreciate it. And we just want to let you know that there's people out there that actually appreciate what you do.
We do, and we love you, man.
Yes.
RVFW, we love you. Fleet loves you. I love you. 3-8.
Yes.
There's 127 guys that love the shit out of you.
I'll tell you this. When I talk to people, right, and people talk about how much things suck or America suck and stuff like that, I'll leave your viewers. I'll leave your viewers with this, right?
Yes.
You are looking at somebody who's living the American dream. I am telling you that right now. I am an immigrant, right? I was not born in this country. My family came from China and immigrated here, right? Worked their butts off, right? And to make a life for, the family and for me. I decided to join the military and I am living the American dream.
Dude.
Like there is nothing better than what I am doing right now. And it's just not it's not to, it's not an ego type of thing. It's not to praise me, but
Right.
the opportunity, right, is there, right? It's whether or not we want to go and achieve what we want to achieve.
It's America.
We cannot make excuses for why we are failing, right? We cannot
Good
make
point.
excuses for
Right.
why we are not, successful, right? If you put into work, you have the right mind, you will succeed in life. And I am, for the most part, living proof because I really truly believe I am living the American dream.
Heck yeah.
Amen,
I love
brother.
it.
Amen.
I love
Yeah.
immigrants in this country. Just come in the right way, man. That's all we ask.
We'll talk about that when I retire.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And I'm gonna hit the button on that one.
Hey, well, I was gonna make a stupid joke about balloons, but I'll let that one go.
No. Too
Yeah, we'll
early.
talk about that
Way
when I
too
retire
early.
too.
All right, Sonny, I'm going to ask you
All
to
right.
stick around for a second so your video uploads. So we're going to end the recording now. Again, thank you for your service. God bless you and your family. You guys are doing a great job. God bless the Navy and the Marine Corps.
God bless the Navy. Hoorah.
And
Hoo-yah.
Air
Hoo-yah.
Force Army while we're at it.
The Fourth Army.
Air Force.